Hi, welcome. Good evening to the evening edition of Fiifi-Manfred. In fact, no evening edition. It is Barca's trashing of Real Madrid in the El Gran Clasico. El Gran Clasico. Now, essentially, I am talking about the fact that there has been an El Gran Clasico of the Spanish Super Cup final far away in Saudi Arabia. I mean, a game that we all expected it to be very, very contentious, very dramatic. As for dramatic, it was dramatic. Nay, very dramatic. See, Oya Barcelona, it is time for you to get excited because for twice this season, Barca have gotten the best of FC Real Madrid. Barca have come up on top. Barca have dictated the pace of games. Barca have won matches against FC Real Madrid, and you will give them the credits that they deserve. Credits now Barca for your channel. That's exactly what I do. Of course, I have Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, so I want to subscribe to the channel. And I subscribe to the channel and then turn on notification. Make sure that in the notification turning, you do choose all. Just make sure that every time that there is content, just so that anytime there is content here, you are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for coming in. Also, for the guys who have been sharing the link to the channel, I'm receiving all of those notifications. I want to say a very, very big thank you to all of you for sharing the notification, sharing the link of the channel, and then making sure that you enjoy the content here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But then let us get straight into it, the conversation here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. First of all, it was the El Gran Clasico. It was Saudi Arabia. A very, very tough game. A game where we knew say a bit both ways for Barcelona, for Real Madrid. A game where we knew that Barca beat Madrid beat Barca in the course of the season. Now Barca and Madrid Eddie Campbell, and it was team my friend Barca and they winning. It was a drop of 4 goals in on the show. So coming into this one, Super Cup final. The last time out on Saudi Arabia Super Cup, Vinicius Junior share hat-trick. So how was the game going to pan out that? Your starting game, no, Hansi Flick echo into a very, very good lineup of Barca team for a very, very long time. Barca team that prioritized a lot of physicality, combativeness when Fiifi won them, and also a Barca team that had the technical ability to make sure some more control games and then get a goal. So that's the lineup Barca for Eddie Real matching, and Barca front 3 before that game against Real Madrid before that game. They had 3 goals, 2 assists as at that point in time. So it was a huge lineup. We're asking ourselves, how was it going to happen? How were Barca going to play? But by first 45 minutes, now Barca were on top. Barca dictated the pace of the game. Barca had controlled the game. Barca had busted. But if you be one share match now, you would think that it was a total Barca show from the blast to the whistle. In fact, it was Real Madrid taking the lead of the match. Madrid did taking the lead of the match. Madrid did share first goal via the boot of a branch friend Kylian Mbappé. And for him, it was his first or classical goal. Something that he has looked for a very, very long time. And now the question was, how were Barca going to respond? How were Barca going to get into the game? Now, throughout the game, even after Mbappé sharing the first goal, you could tell that Barcelona for of course, were controlling the game to an extent. You could tell that Barca for matching, they were in the game. They could go in and get the equalizer. They could go in and get a win. And it was a huge one. Of course, Barca went into the game with the front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski, and then branch friend Rafinha in there. And then, of course, they went in there. One of the big surprises of Barca team, when they said almost started with a branch your friend Wojciech Szczesny in there. Although as the match went on, something else happened. Then, of course, Barcelona and Fiifi on the Mekai said in the pre-match analysis, Asemba Kwamidi Unkomo and they said the game will be hinged totally on what Barca's midfield can do against Madrid's midfield. Now, also did mention, say, Social Barca midfield now, technically together, they are better than the Madrid midfield. But again, the problem is that when you look at Madrid midfield now, individually, they can spark up and then get the job done. So was Madrid going to be able to do the job individually, or Barca were going to come in and then get a job done with a group? Of course, Barca and Fiifi, one of them was Valverde, Gavi, Pedri, and a branch friend Marc Casado. And of course, at the back, it was a branch friend Kobasi, Inigo Martinez, then fullbacks Alejandro Balde and Jules Koundé making the runs over there, very, very important. So in the opening of the game, it was clear So Barca's plan on the ball was to use Abrante Fene, Pedri and Gavi in between the lines. To be very, very aggressive and use Pedri and Gavi in between the lines. Senegal, Pedri move it to receive the ball in between the lines, and then they'll exploit the spaces. The wingers will exploit the spaces in there. Into from the blast of the whistle, Barca ball now. You realize that Marc Casado alone will receive the ball on the half turn. There was going to be a back three. Now, back three in a Barca for it was Abrante Fene, Jules Koundé, Pau Kobasini, Inigo Martinez. Then they were able to push Alejandro Balde like a fullback, then pulled in Abrante, your friend Rafinha. So in the half spaces, there was Rafinha. Then there was Gavi in there. Then in the build-up, there was Casado when Abrante Fene, Pedri. So two players in terms of the 3-2 phase of ball progression. Then having Gavi and then Rafinha in the half spaces. Then keeping the width with Alejandro Balde and Abrante Fene, Lamine Yamal. Now, if you watch all of the Barca goals now, almost every point in time, Barca had been able to pull out Madrid for centre backs not out, whether it was a counter attack, whether it was from open play, especially from that Lamine Yamal equalizer. Then, of course, the runs in behind were being done. Of course, in between the lines, centrally, there was always going to be a Abrante Fene, Robert Lewandowski in there who could affect the game and impose himself in matches. It was something that was going to be very, very important for Team Friend FC Barcelona. So, Barca essentially did that. Barca did that on the ball. But off the ball, that's where technically Barca was superior. Now, Madrid falling our ball, that's up. In the build-up phase, it was more of Eduardo Camavinga and then Federico Valverde to receive the ball in the first phase. Now, what Barca did was that they were able to press very, very aggressive. Then they formed some level of a hexagon between Camavinga and Abrante Fene Valverde. And so there are times where, say, Lewandowski passing in the shadow marking and doesn't cover into the path of Eduardo Camavinga. Camavinga received the ball. But once he receives the ball, Barca players will swarm him. They'll be aggressive around him and it will prevent him from getting any meaningful pass. In fact, before that Kylian Mbappe goal, that was the very, very first one. They almost received your ball first one, long in there. Then Kylian Mbappe playing into and finding Kylian Mbappe in the channels because Barca had come to press. And this time, Federico Valverde, Camavinga could find the ball over the top and go over the Barca press and get a job right. And I've said it several times. The Biame Kachebinia in Boma said, so watch the Barcelona team now. Hansi Flick's first set of tactics, anyhow he plays his game, is essentially one of the things that he wants to do is to make sure that he uses whatever tactic, the system. No? The first thing that the system wants to do is that the system wants to bring out the best in his best technical players. So what he does is that in the wide areas, in half spaces, he will bait you and know you're more like a bait. Then he uses wide players from outside to isolate you 1v1 because he believes in the qualitative superiority of the players. And every time that's what he wants to do. Once the game came in, you could tell the Barca were going to hold on to the ball in that regard. They were going to play through the channels in there. In fact, by the second minute, Lamine Yamal came very, very close again because we were able to pull out Rudiger, who was being too aggressive on Robert Lewandowski. And every time Lewandowski would drop it deep, Rudiger didn't. So there was always a gaping hole in there for either Lamine Yamal and Rafinha to attack the ball. And this time, it was Lamine Yamal. First one, Abrante Fene, Thibaut Courtois in the second half, a save Sabon. It was a very, very good chance from Lamine Yamal, but then it was saved by Abrante Fene, Thibaut Courtois. Then, as the game went on, Rafinha in your head again, it was saved by Abrante Fene, Thibaut Courtois. Then, of course, there was a lead-up of a foul in the lead-up to Say Mbappe goal, something that Gil Manzano did not call for. But once the ball went long in there, Abrante, your friend Mbappe was able to score. And there was a foul before the Mbappe goal, but the referee didn't call it. And by the 9th minute, Barca were getting close. And Flick, he looked a little bit pensive. And by the time the ball by 15 minutes after the Mbappe prior Kakana, medics Mbappe shed. And it was around that time, in a Barca 4 really imposed themselves in the games. They really imposed themselves. I mean, there was a little bit of a conversation around how Barca thought that Madrid were wasting time and they signing money, man. But by the time you ball by the 21st minute, what I told you at the beginning of the game said the plan of Hansi Flick was to use Abrante, your friend Robert Lewandowski, Pedri, Gavi, and Abrante Fene, Rafinha in between the lines to pull out an overly aggressive Chimeni and Abrante Fene, Antonio Rudiger worked perfectly well. And that's exactly what set up the goal for Abrante Fene, Lamine Yamal. It was a ball in between the paths, good combination play from deep, from Casado and Pedri. Then, of course, they found Abrante your friend Robert Lewandowski meeting. Once the ball came, Lewandowski just flicked it all to the point of Abrantia, your friend Lamine Yamal. And by that point in time, now Madrid have a ball possession of 17%, Barca ball possession of almost 83% in there. And of course, Sauma Lamine Yamal ball, not cutting from that right hand side. Now ball number 20 left foot, so it was excellent in there. And cutting into the far post in there, making the job done for Abrantia, your friend Lamine Yamal. He beat everybody. Kamavinga, Mendy beats them over there. And like I said, so I'll show video that you could tell Abrantia friend Antonio Rudiger was very, very deep. Now, right around that time, then Abrantia, your friend Inigo Martinez also went down, got injured. But see, it was a necessary evil and something that really did good job for team friend Barcelona. And I immediately, Inigo Martinez went down injured. Then came Abrantia friend Ronald Araujo. And we all know what has been said about Abrantia friend Ronald Araujo in recent times. Juve have wanted him. Juve want to get him. They are not getting him. Barca so Muntia 40 million. Juve so more 30 million. A lot of conversation around him. Now Ronald Araujo did come on Obayano and Rafinha he captain Samba and the man. And in there, you could tell that Ronald Araujo was really dictating the pace of the game again. In there, and it was really in it, controlling the stuff in there over there. Then a ball flicked into the part in the box on him, and of course, I think it was a penalty. I mean, so in there critically by the rules of the game, it was a penalty. But again, was it soft? Yes. Did Pedri simulate? Yes, he did. Ocean Pedri Bona, he was almost flying by the time ball on the chest. Not all control. And once he felt the touch from Abrantia friend Eduardo Camavinga, he went down. And of course, Robert Lewandowski did slot in that penalty from team friend FC Barcelona. And of course, at that point in time, Barca were up by 2-1. On the bench, Fermin Lopez, Moni and the other were there celebrating that goal. You could tell Barca bench, were very ecstatic in there. And they were having some very good time, in that regard. And you were giving them a lot of credit. Now again, on the far side, Barca gets a ball on the right hand side. Barca for actually Madrid for deeper. You can see Abrantia friend Eduardo Camavinga coming into close to the ball over there. Now it was Abrantia, your friend Jules Koundé. It was more like a half space cross. But essentially, like I said, he put almost every player onto his path. Players no more the right hand channel or no. Eduardo Camavinga moved towards it, going close in Abrantia friend Lamine Yamal in that area. And then there was space. Space for Abrantia, your friend Rafinha, to run between Tchouameni and your Abrantia friend Lucas Vazquez, because again, Rudiger stepped up, Rudiger jumped. Rudiger's plan was to go and nick the ball in the back. And for me, in this game, is because it just highlights Rudiger's, indiscipline at the back. Sometimes he's probably overzealous, over-exuberant, too exuberant at the back. And I think it affected team and friend FC Real Madrid. And once the ball was pinned between a shot Tchouameni and a shot Abrantia friend Lucas Vazquez onto the head of Abrantia friend Robert Lewandowski, Abrantia friend Rafinha, only one thing could happen. By the 40th minute, Barca were up by 3 goals, 3-1, by 2 goals, which is 3-1, with Abrantia friend Thibaut Courtois looking very, confused in the lead up to that. Now on the touchline, you could see Seneca Carlo Ancelotti was distraught. And the funny thing is that the TV crew edited a picture of the two presidents, President Juan Laporta, and of course, President of Real Madrid, Abrantia, Papa, the friend Florentino Perez. All of them were in the director's box, and it was clear. On the Madrid bench, it was clear again. Now after that, as the game went on, Balde came close, got a chance. And again, the game was hinged on Barca's rotations. Barca's ability to pull players, occupy the half space, and then pull Antonio Rudiger and the likes out, and then force them to make a lot of mistakes. it did a lot of good for them in the Inigo Martinez was complaining on the bench with the yellow card in there. Then in the second half, by the time I went for the second half, Abrantia friend Keita about Alejandro Balde. I always say Keita Balde, forgive me. Another ball from deep, another ball up, not Barca for one had come. Now, immediately Barca were up by 3-1. Now, that's where the game actually really became mental. And what happened was that Madrid for were beginning to change the game. Omo realized someone did by 3-1. Now, Omo chase match, Omo chain say what's the name? Madrid for can come in. Omo chain said they could go in and create some chance for themselves and then get some goals. Now, once that happened, they pushed in. They tried to make some incursions. They tried to push for wins. but that didn't happen. Now it was in that counter attack, and of course, Maria, a ball on F volley to Brentford friend, Alejandro Balde was picked up by Rafinha, who Alejandro Balde, yes, overlapping around him, and on my ball, now 4-1. So by halftime, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Brentford friend, Bellingham were all on the pitch, but Barca were leading by 4-1. 13 attempts by Barcelona, 5 by Real Madrid, 2 shots on target for Real Madrid, 7 for team of friend Barcelona, 28% ball possession for Real Madrid, 72% for Barcelona in there. So you could tell it was total dominance for team of your friend Barcelona in the first half. And you could tell from the celebration of Barca boys, said Lamine Yamal, and of course Alejandro Balde, team my friend FC Barcelona, team my friend Real Madrid, attackers. The best 45 minutes for Barca. Tremendous display, in my opinion, on and off the ball. Punch and character, because the team did not get down with Mbappe's goal. Big festival than at the Bernabeu in Madrid over there. And you could tell video narration of Barca's averted goal. Barca really went into it and he tried to dominate the game. By the first half, you could tell the warrior, the controlling of the Barca midfield, Pedri, Gavi, Marc Casado was very, very important for them. Of course, in the second half, Abrante ran around with them in the first half. It was very, very good. Of course, by halftime, only Danisa Bayo said they move replace Abrante, your friend Eduardo Camavinga. But nothing really did change. Rodrigo goes in the halftime and hit a post. Nothing went on there. Rafinha went on to score a second, and when he had 5 goals to 1. At that point in time, it was really, really going downhill for Tima, your friend FC Barcelona. Then your crowd for Barcelona for them, and they were in a bad place, waiting to get something out of the game over there as the game went on. But Carlo Ancelotti made some more changes, brought on Raul Asensio to come and salvage the game. And in there, by the 54th minute, Kylian Mbappe, he was booked for complaining so much. I mean, I was giving him, and then later on, baby, I can't 10 match, baby, I have a branch friend who just changing a red card on a tackle on a branch friend, Kylian Mbappe. And then, of course, Barca signing Hansi to pull off a branch friend Lamine Yamal, who could have been on the hat trick, and a branch your friend Gavi, you make his hat trick, just bringing on Inaka Peña in there to come and control the game. And from there, by the 75th minute, 78th minute, Ferran Torres had come in controlling the game. And like I said, in the lead up to the game, there were a lot of Ballon d'Or worthy players that were parking, but then only none of them was wearing the white of Real Madrid. I think team, your friend of Barcelona, were spot on in almost everything that they were doing. Control the game, and at full time, 5-2 for team my friend FC Barcelona. 5-2. And Barca for a control game all throughout the pitch. All throughout the pitch. So Barca for a winning duels. I mean, they did everything right. Everything right to win that game. And FC Barcelona went into that match, won it over there by 5-2. Spanish Super Cup champions. Total dominance in the first half, total dominance in the second half, total dominance on and off the field of play. Proper game of football. And like I said, you have to love Gavi. You have to love Pablo Gavi. Makani several times said, for me, my favorite player in the world of football, and of course FC Barcelona, our branch friend Pablo Gavi. He was so important for everything FC Barcelona on the day. And I think that he deserves all the credit that he has been getting. And that's a very, very good display from them. Rafinha, again, another player. Rafinha scores goals because he doesn't stop consistently with Barcelona. You need to give respect to Abrante and Rafinha. Almost every time Abrante and Rafinha are on the channels now. Almost every time Abrante and Rafinha make issues will make it run. Whether in behind, whether out, almost every time Abrante and Rafinha is doing something really impressive to get there and then gets the results in them. And that's a very, very good one for Tima, your friend FC Barcelona. Very good on the ball, very good off the ball. Robert Lewandowski in there as well, being a senior man and then controlling the game. But hey, I remember saying now, Bikai, say Barca ever take care, then it depends on Abrante friend Lamine Yamal. And truly, what a player and a Lamine Yamal. And then he really rewrote his name again. He really reintroduced himself, said or no, and a Lamine Yamal. Very important to everything about Barcelona for here. Very important to the control that Barca want to have. And what a game it was from Lamine Yamal. From the controlling of the game, from running down Abrante friend Antonio Rudiger, from the runs in behind, the controls, the finishing from a young boy of that age on a big stage in the Grand Clasico there. What a game it was. What a game it was over there for Abrante friend Lamine Yamal over there. He deserves all of the credit. All of the credit. And these are Barca boys from the academy. Pau Kubasi, Alejandro Balde, Gavi, Pedri, Marc Casado, all of these guys from the Barca Academy, but really making it count over there. And they deserve all of the credit that Onwunya from Team My Friend FC Barcelona. Good credit to Barcelona for an excellent game on mobile and the results that they've had, of course. And I want to say I enjoyed that match. One of the best, full house of football that anybody is going to watch this season. Match now Barca for. Of course, we'll draw the curtain and we'll do some more tactical analysis on Barca match on when team your friend FC Real Madrid. Boy, I'll see you. If you look at the game, halftime, it was so clear. Scoreline reflective performance, not very well. Real Madrid took the lead against the round of play, but Barca 4 did not get worried. Madrid defended with a 4-2-3-1, staying close to midfielders now. But of course, it was about the half spaces, it was the pockets. It was how Barca 4 were finding in between the lines and pulling Rudiger out. Valverde and Camavinga was forced to cover too much space because of that. And definitely, Barca 4 got the win. 5 goals to do. Congratulations, Barca.